Naming your party is one of the first memorable milestones in a long-running campaign, along with killing your first major boss, and of course being thwarted by your first kindergarten tier puzzle. The DM got off the Denny's Kids menu. You know the one. It's a big decision that will echo throughout every session following. So, what was your name, and why did you pick it? Answer in the comments below. I play in a group of 3 bards and 1 wizard who also has the spirit of a bard. Because we're all kind of the opposite from the stereotype of a bard and more on the melancholic and dark side, emo, we decided to call us the Sinister Poets. Fitting, but a goblin called us a bunch of idiots. Well, you know, I would also say that's pretty fitting too. Rom-com rodeo. That brings up bad memories. We have 4 characters: a gay prince, warlock, not starting this off right, a young lesbian assassin, rogue, a flirtatious musketeer, fighter rogue, and a man raised by wolves, paladin. This is really not helping. On the 3rd or 4th session in the campaign, that was initially supposed to be a one-shot, we were celebrating the defeat of our first boss, with the mayor having told us that drinks were on him, probably literally. The prince in the background is getting ready to admit his love to the musketeer. However, the musketeer, unaware of her preferences and her age, swings around and starts flirting with the lesbian rogue, who simply blushes and sinks into her seat. Thus, from then on, the campaign became close to a romantic comedy. The musketeer going after the rogue, the prince going after the musketeer, and of course the rogue not wanting anything to do with the situation at all. Also, the paladin is there too. He just kind of tags along as well. The party I'm currently DMing for was exceptionally rude to an NPC bard one day on the road. She walked away, leaving them in their bedraggled state, to continue schlepping along a dirt road that had soaked up 3 days of rain. By the time they got to the next town, a wildly popular new song was on everyone's lips about some twerp caricatures of adventurers covered in mud and soaked with rain, pathetically trudging along a dirt road. Well, they decided to own it and are now known as the Mud Trudger. Yes! I applaud them for their decision. As a side note, they have been much more civil to the NPCs their DM puts in front of them ever since. All of a sudden, as soon as they started engaging civilly with the people around them, they finally managed to get some clues they had been looking for that have already pointed them to the next leg of their journey. Who would have thought? I'd call that a win-win-win all around, baby. After reading this thread, I'm going to make a point of creating a party called the Blues Brothers. I kinda like the idea to revolve around a paladin that wears blue heraldry that saved the party's bacon once early, and as a show of appreciation, they began buying blue clothing in a sort of signal that I'm with him kind of vibe. It doesn't hurt that I like to play bards, and that would make me the front man for the Blues Brothers. And who wouldn't want that gig? The critical misses, because all but one of our characters is female, and we absolutely suck at rolling. On one of the games we stream, the players have named their pirate ship the Void Maw, so they generally just refer to themselves as the crew. I think one of the most memorable naming of the party moments that my D&D group ever had was from one of our 4th edition campaigns. Early on, we declared ourselves the Electric Slide. This was primarily due to our group going all in on the various ways you can push, pull, and slide opponents and allies in combat, combined with the abundance of lightning damage powers that we had. At certain points, we joked about our party's name evolving due to certain memorable moments. We managed to slide one enemy down an entire flight of stairs during a combat encounter. The idea of it was so funny and ridiculous that one of the players proclaimed we had upgraded to the electric escalator. Later on, we managed to somehow, in a beautiful display of creativity and sheer dumb luck, snare a wizard with some rope and then proceed to drop him several stories, which killed him. That's how we were promoted to the rank of the electric elevator. Jesus, God help me. By the time we got to the big bad evil guy, we were teleporting enemies and ourselves everywhere and had mastered controlling the battlefield. And we joked that we had achieved the highest rank of the electric teleporters. Man, that campaign was a blast. One of my parties is called the Environmentalists. Well, we got that name after we burned down a forest. So what? You just wanted to piss off Smokey the Bear more, you liars. My original party was called Officially Sanctioned Heroes in Training, also known as Oh Shit! 'Cause that's what enemies said when they saw us. We currently have the Thoughts, the heroes of the story. We also had the Eels, no acronym, after an enemy fled our artificer just shouted, "That's what you get for messing with the Eels!" Completely unprovoked. And it just kinda stuck. My group is, pending on the name, Five Guys, because we're guys, you know, and there's like 5 of us. The group I DM for in my latest campaign called themselves the Fast and the Furious because they kept making Fast and the Furious jokes about being a family. And if they don't keep a pact with the devil, then they're absolutely fucked. Lost Mine of Fandelver Party called itself the Wild Geese, G-E-E-S-E, after its members Garveld, Emil, Eliza, Sharira, and Ellie. That's actually kinda cute and wholesome. We currently call ourselves Hydra, thanks to the Hydra symbol we have on the overworld map on Roll20. Hydra then became Hydra, High Yield Demolitions and Reconnaissance Agents. An alias we used for a sting operation was another multi-headed being of sorts, Medusa, which I jokingly called Men Entertaining Dangerously Under-Specialized Action. Why does that sound like a Bond villain group? Being a political officer of a kingdom, my character would like to think of her troops as the Little Water First and Only, named after the place they all met and formed to fulfill their oath to a mutual acquaintance. It was a nod to the Gaunt's Ghosts lot, the Tanith First and Only. No doubt we'll have some other names later on, and a few more already being said behind our backs. The first party I ever played in was called the Orc Slayers, which was later updated to the Dragon Slayers. Now we were playing DIOP, which I assume is Dragon of Ice Spire Peak, and every time we fought orcs, which was a lot, 2 orcs would run away. I wrote a short story about them called The Cowardly Orcs, in which I had them complain that every time they got a job, the Orc Slayers would wreck it for them. The Dragon Slayers came after we finally finished the module. We were called the 7 Wonders, because we found a Wand of Wonder at first level. 7 was the 5 of us, a panther and the wand. Later, we were dubbed Pell's Miracles, when Pell teleported us to Icewind Dale to stop the Frost Maiden. Well, I asked the party what they would like to be called. They decided to call themselves the Cheese Chasers, after the opening one-shot which introduced half of their characters. They now pilot a land ship they've named Derilia Dunker. Now, contrary to their cutesy name, they have a string of war crimes and casual slaughters to their name of the most horrific manner. Mind you, they're not murder hobos, but when stuff needs to die, oh, it dies! Currently, the party just finished Lost Mines, and has such adopted by Gundren, and have become the Rockseeker Company, which gives them a patron and a rather nice source of anchoring in the world. My party and Storm King's Thunder were awarded the title of Stewards of Nightstone by the City of Nightstone, and we have since traveled to Icewind Dales and protected the town of Bryn Shander during the night. So now we call ourselves the Night Guard. I was the DM. My players were retired adventurers who occasionally worked as town guards. They worked for the mayor who founded the group. The village they lived in was once a very mystical seaport, bustling with fae and other extraplanar entities. The group was called the Sylph's Order, but the group name didn't really impact the campaign. I'm in a group that is about as easy to predict as a herd of cats. I tried making a few suggestions for names to promote our services, but none of us could agree. When asked for the group name at the end of Mines of Phandelver, I said we didn't have one because we were still a work in progress. Weirdly, the town and the group loved that idea, so now we're just called Work in Progress. I actually really like that too, kinda sticks with you. The party name predates my time in the game, but the whole thing is recorded on YouTube, so I got to watch it happen, which is as good as being there, except for all the one-liners that pop into mind that I didn't get to insert live. We're playing Dungeon of the Mad Mage, but the first several sessions were one-off quests outside of Waterdeep, since our party was small, inexperienced, and needed to make a name for themselves. We've made it so that the city holds a festival of heroes every couple of years, when the number of monsters below surges, and if adventurers don't do some population control, they will spill out and raid the city. We needed a patron to pay our fee to enter, and a list of achievements to prove our mettle. The party was originally 2 clerics and 2 fighters, so the Blessed Blades was an easy one. After a few quests though, 1 cleric and 1 fighter left the game, and we got a bard and a wizard to fill the gaps. Now it's not really so accurate. So we clear another dungeon, which was supposed to just be a scouting job, but we were the only people around to handle it. So we handled it, right? On the way out, the party name is mentioned. Since the Blessed Blades doesn't fit really anymore, and the festival is coming soon, what do we call ourselves? The wizard, Tobias, throws out, the best available. Our adventuring party is from Wish.com. It was a bit of a joke, but it stuck, but who you gonna call when nobody else is around? The best available! It's been years now, and we've cleared the majority of Undermountain, taken on the Xanathar Guild, killed dragons, giants, you name it. We're one of the most well-known and well-liked parties in the entire city. So now the name has a different meaning. Even with the dozens of parties vying for fame and glory, in the whole of Waterdeep, we are still the best available. Hey everybody, Brian Von VA checking in after the vid. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, ring that bell, and of course, subscribing to us means you're supporting the best available in terms of D&D stories and commentary and all that fun stuff. That said, in the comments below, let us know. What was your party's name? What was it inspired by? How'd you come up with it? Because we really want you to share it. Love y'all. See you next time. Bye for now.